everyone, welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. If you're new, then I want to start this out by saying that you're going to hear the air conditioner in the back, you're going to hear kids playing in the back, you're probably going to hear the baby sucking on her fingers. I apologize, there's nothing I can do about it, otherwise I wouldn't be filming. So anyway, today I'm going to be doing my Phase 10 hopefuls. So I'll be playing my Phase 10 TBR game. I will be doing my Readathin hopefuls. I'll be going over what we're doing for that. I'll be going over what I'm reading for the audio August, which is hosted by Olivia Crafts and Books, and I will be going over what I will be reading for the Love Yourself Readathon. I will also be pulling out of my TBR jar, so yeah, let's just get right into it because I need to get this filmed so that I can edit it and get it up. There's a lot to do. So prior to this, I did film me playing the game and pulling my TBR jar picks. So you will see that on the screen over here while we're chit-chatting. It'll be right there. So first I rolled the dice and I got a 3. So I pulled 3 little things out of the TBR jar. So the first one I got was Women Are Some Kind of Magic. And for that one I have the third and final book in it. And that is The Mermaid's Voice Returns in this one. It's a poetry collection. The next one that I got was Effortless With You, which the final book in that duology is Perfectly Messy. So I will be finishing that. And the final one was All the Stars and Teeth. And for that I have All the Tides of Fate. And I believe that's the finale. Storygraph only has the 2 listed. So I think that's the finale of that one, so it works out well. That'll be 3 series that I will be getting off of my TBR, which is awesome because that will be 3 that I will not have in the TBR jar, which means I will be closer to hitting my goal of being able to shake it up in the original container. But other than that, I need to fit those 3 books into my Phase 10 TBR, hopefully. I also need to fit in The Raven Boys. That is a buddy read with the Sibs Book Club. I also need to fit in Tastes Like Candy. It's the Sibs Book Club book for August. I also have to fit in Last Call at the Nightingale. That is Chris's, from Chris's Corner, their queer book club. That's the pick for August. I need to fit in The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. It is on my 12 Friends challenge for the year. It is also, I think, going toward the Motif Reading Challenge. It is going toward the Read Your Bookshelf Challenge. And the Year in Aldea, which is the stars on the cover, is the prompt that I ended up getting. So I also have a deal with the Elf King that I'm reading for the Buzzword Title Challenge. That's a fantasy romance that's been on my TBR for years now. So I'm really hoping to get to that one. I don't know if that one's on any challenges. I might have put it on my 25 for 2025. I can't remember off the top of my head, but that's one that I need to get to for the Buzzword Reading Challenge. I also plan to read Earthlings for Sufferathon, and then I had tried to film this before. I'm not gonna lie, I tried to film it before and it did not come out the way I wanted to. I tried filming it last night, did not like it. It just wasn't the vibe I was going for, I guess, while I was filming. So that's why I'm redoing it. But one of the books that I had put on my TBR, I had gotten the prompt. I think it was the hardest reading challenge. Yep, it's right there. The Arab Heritage. I was going to read The 100 Years War on Palestine for that. I want to keep that on my TBR and count that for my nonfiction for the TBR knockout because I need to read a nonfiction for that and a book that has a book on the cover. Hoping to fit that in somewhere as well. Hopefully that prompt will come up again. If not, then I'll just count it for that prompt anyway and remove it for the following stuff. I need to find a book for the Buzzword Cover Challenge for transportation, because I don't think any of my current books fit that. No, none of these books have transportation. And I also need to find one that has a memory word because I did not finish that prompt. I think that's everything I had to talk about before we actually get into it. So for Phase 10, how I play it is I play a hand of Phase 10, and the prompts that the cards that I discard before I get the phase are reading prompts that are bonus. If I finish those prompts, then I get rewards. The cards I discard after I get my phase are activity prompts. Same thing, they're bonuses. If I complete them, I get rewards. The phase cards go toward required prompts. That's a mix of reading and activity, and I can double up the phase prompts with the reading prompts, but those are required. I need to read at least half of those to complete the phase, and whatever I don't finish, I get a punishment for, even if I do finish the phase, if that makes any sense. The punishments aren't too bad. Like, they aren't the worst thing. Sometimes it's like doubling up, having to read 2 books for 1 prompt, or I have to choose another prompt and find 1 book that fits both. So I already put the punishments and rewards up on the board. I had 11 punishments because I did not complete 8 prompts and I did not read 3 books for my series TBR jar. So that's why I had to add 11. I got 1 reward because I completed the single activity prompt that I got. So I gave myself a reward for that. So now we're going to go through the reading prompts, then we'll go through the activity prompts, we'll go through the required prompts, roll for the wilds that we got, and go through those prompts. If I get a wild, I roll a dice and I have to add that many cards. But I also can replace a prompt with a wild, and that means that I can just read any book for it. I don't have to fit a prompt or anything. And skips, I can just completely skip the prompt. Usually I don't use those until the end of the month unless there's a prompt that like I'm really not feeling like doing or what have you. So let's get right into this. We have a lot to go through. There's a lot going on. So we're going to start with the reading discards. The first card that I discarded was a blue 3, and the prompt that goes with that is a graphic novel. So none of the books currently on my TBR are graphic novels, but I do have A Sign of Affection volume 11 just came in through my library. So I'm going to pick that for this prompt because obviously I need to read that. And I'm trying so hard not to read it right now because I'm so excited for it. So the next prompt is red 4, and for that it is bigger rainbow yellow. So I need to find a book with a yellow cover. I have put this book on pretty much every TBR to ever exist. So we're going to do it again. Maybe this time I'll actually get to it. But that book is Heart of the Sun Warrior. Hopefully I can actually get to that this month. We'll see. The baby woke up and the toddler came out into the living room, so there's gonna be lots of noise now. So the next prompt is a yellow 4, and for that it's a tome. For that it's any book over 500 pages. If Oathbound decides to come in a little bit early, I can read that. Okay, so we're gonna go with Throne of the Fallen because this is a book I physically own and have for a while, and I know that I'll definitely count for Readathin, so I don't know what prompt, but I'm sure I can fit it somewhere. So the next prompt is green 7. Oh, beautiful. So that's the Arab heritage. I'm definitely counting the 100 Years War on Palestine. All right, next up is a yellow 1, and that's even number of pages. Super easy. So Addie LaRue is listed on Storygraph as 448. So we're gonna go with that. If there's a reading challenge prompt that comes up and I've already got it on the list, then I'll just re-roll for a new prompt. All right, so next up is the red 11. For that we have romance with favorite tropes. For this one, I'm going to count Deal with the Elf King because it is a enemies to lovers, which I really enjoy in fantasy romances. So next up we have a red 1, which is a 5-star prediction. All right, so for this one, I'm going to go with No One Was Supposed to Die at This Wedding, because honestly I feel like that one could be a 5-star just for the cheesiness alone. I read the first book, I really enjoyed it, it was a lot of fun, and I'm really looking forward to this one. And I do need to read that for my summer reading retreat. I totally forgot that I have summer hopefuls that I need to get through. So the last reading prompt, at least the last bonus reading prompt, is a red 12, and that is a quadrilogy, which is a 4-book series. I need to double check. I think you have to read the entirety of it, like during the readathon, because that's for the hardest reading challenge. So you do have to start it. For this one, I'm going to count Done and Dusted, but honestly, my hold might not come through. So the hold is for like 9 weeks, so it might not come through. And if it doesn't, honestly, that's fine. It's a bonus prompt anyway, so. Now let's get on to the activity challenges. Super easy, I only got one. It was a yellow 12, and that's just to finish a section of my diamond painting. I have my diamond painting like squared off, so I'll just need to make sure to get at least one section done. As you can see, there are red stop signs, there are little yellow suns, which you can't really see. The red stop signs are punishments, and the sun is a reward. So if you have any recommendations for punishments or rewards, let me know in the comments, because I need more, because I only have like 5 of each, which doesn't make for very interesting selections. Just don't make them like too tough, because as you can tell, my TBR is tough enough. So the first prompt, we have a punishment because it's a green one. I'm just gonna roll a dice off camera, obviously. So I got a 2. So for that, it is that I must finish one of the series that I drew. Super easy. So it's kind of cheating because I'm gonna finish all of them if I read them, but I'm gonna give myself a break there because these are tough. Because we already did that, we're gonna re-roll for a prompt because I don't want to like repeat prompts like that. So we have a book in parts from the Reddit Fantasy Bingo. So hard mode is it has to be 4 or more parts. Invisible Life of Addie LaRue does have parts. Okay, so there's at least 5 parts because I just looked. There's 7. Beautiful. So we will count Addie LaRue for that one. So next up we have Green 2 by the 700. Oh, lordy lord. All right, so for this one, I'm going to go with The Survivor Wants to Die at the End. That's 720 pages. All right, I had to get up and get the baby again. So next up, Red 3 is last in the series for the Our Fantasy Bingo. So hard mode is that it has to be a series that is 4 or more books long. All right, so I think this one I'm going to use the skip on because I do not have the ability. A skip or a wild. All right, next up we have a blue 4, which is watch a season of a TV show or watch a movie. So next up is a red 5, which is another punishment. So I'm gonna roll the dice and see what we get. So I got a 4, and that is to read 2 books that fit this prompt. And the prompt is want to visit. I completed that for the Phase Out Your series, so I re-rolled and got the Bigger Queer Alphabet, and for that I got Gay Book. Alright, so for this one I'm going to read The Guncle. I feel like I've heard good things about this one, and then I'm going to roll again for the second prompt because that one goes towards a readathon. Yeah, the prompt I got was watch an episode of a show every day. The next one is a red 6, and I got Bioshock, so I need to play the first Bioshock game because I've never played it. And then next up we have a yellow 7, which is another punishment, so we're going to roll for that real quick. I got another 4, so I have to do the prompt twice or re-roll and do 2 prompts. So graphic novel by a female or non-binary author. So I'm going to count a sign of affection for that because it is. And then because that's going for a challenge, we're going to roll again. And I got Deep Clean Something. Next up we have red 8, which is favorite color from Phase Out the Hardboard. And this is one that I had gotten before and I did not end up reading the book. So I already have a book chosen out, and for that it's going to be Concrete Rose. So now we're on to the first wild, which I rolled the dice and got a 1. So I drew a card and ended up getting a red 6. So the red 6 was Wheel Spin for Phase Out the Hardboard, which I'm going to do off the video. I have to go through my series and see which ones I'm going to put on the board, but I will put on the screen which one I ended up choosing for that. The second wild, we ended up getting a 2, and the first one that we pulled for that was a yellow 6. Yellow 6 is a diverse romance. So for this one, I'm going to go with To You at the Altar because it is following a sapphic romance, even though I don't think it's technically a romance because they're together from the beginning. It's more of a slice of life. But there is a romance, so I'm counting it. And then the next prompt is a red 7, which we got another punishment, which hopefully that means we'll be knocking these out, so I won't have to do as many next time. So I rolled another 4, so I had to do another 2 prompts for this one. So the first prompt is to watch YouTube daily. This really likes to double up an activity with a reading prompt. So I ended up getting author you've read from before. And for that one, I'm going to use Perfectly Messy because I have read from that author before. We're on to the next wild, and I ended up getting 5 when I rolled. So the first card that I got was a yellow 10, which is series you avoid. So for that one, I'm going to count All the Tides of Fate because that is a series that I've been avoiding finishing. The baby's eating right now, so you might hear her sniffling around a little bit. The next prompt is a yellow 2, which is another punishment. So let's roll. And I got a 5, which is to draw another series from my jar. So I ended up getting The Diabolic. So I'm going to read Nemesis for that, right? And then we get rid of that. And by the 100s, I have to read a 200-page book. So I'm going to count Earthlings for that one because it's 247 pages. And then next up we have The Yellow 10, and it's a book I got for free. For that one I'm going to read Alchemy and a Cup of Tea. Actually, going back, for the last in a series, I'm going to count Alchemy and a Cup of Tea because that one's currently listed as the finale to the series. And it's 4 books, so it would complete hard mode. Alright, so for the book I got for free, I'm going to read The Executioners 3, because I got that as an arc. Alright, for Yellow 12, we got Roll a D6 for a number of words in the title. I got 4. Okay, so for that one, I'm going to count Throne of the Fallen. Easy. And then last up, last card finally, is a green 11, which is a punishment. So I got 5, which means draw another series. Let's do that first. So I got Firekeeper's Daughter, so I will be reading, what's the sequel to that? Warrior Girl Unearthed, and the prompt is Netherlands, the Storygraph world, but I decided I'm not doing that anymore, so let me re-roll. I got a nonfiction book by or about a sports personality. Alright, so for this one, I think I am going to use the skip here since I decided not to use it earlier. Because I really don't want to read any of these right now. And that's that. But for now, I'm going to go get some lunch. Feed the kids lunch. I'll come back and let you know about Readathin, Audio August, and the Love Yourself Readathon, and what books are going where. Alrighty. So, here we have the Readathin bingo board. And I have all but 2 of the prompts figured out. I will have my announcement linked down below as well as Donna's. Donna's might be a little more coherent, but we work with what we have. I'll have the website linked down below, everything. So let's zoom in here and go over what is going on. So over here we have based on the color of your last read. And for that, I plan on reading Heart of the Sun Warrior because not so much this cover, but the other cover for it, the, I think, US cover, really matches the spell shop really well, so I'm gonna go with that one. And then next up we have author you've read from before, so I chose Perfectly Messy because I have read from that author before. Technically, The Raven Boys is a reread, and it's not necessarily getting it off my TBR, but we're just going to go with it because I'm reading it anyway. And for that, we have nature related. Then we have Toward a Yearly Goal, which The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue is a 12-friend challenge, among other prompts. And then we have Thrifted, Borrowed, or From a Little Free Library. A Sign of Affection just came in from my library, so that counts. Now I have to do the 1-star reviews poll pick still, but I'm going to do that with books that were left over from my Phase 10 TBR, which is kind of cheating, but it's whatever. Then got mixed reviews. I might have to double up with this one. I don't know if I'll switch out one of these prompts to fit one there. I have to look more into which of these books really got mixed reviews. Then we have Meant to Read in 2024, which Throne of the Fallen came out, I think, in 2023. Then we have Alliteration in the title, which I was gonna count Done and Dusted for got mixed reviews, but it was, I think, the only one that had alliteration in the title of the books that I chose for Phase 10, so we went with that. Then we have Finish / Catch Up on a Series, which Alchemy and a Cup of Tea will do that. Then we have Short Book or Graphic Novel, which I'm going to be reading Insomniacs After School, Volume 1, because there are books on the cover, and I needed a book that had books on the cover for TBR Knockout. And finally, we have from Physical TBR, and Concrete Rose has been on my TBR for, well, since it came out, because I think I pre-ordered it, to be honest. That is the board for Readathin. Then we have Audio August, which is the readathon that is being hosted by Livia Crafts and Books. I will have their channel linked down below, as well as the host of Love Yourself Readathon. So make sure you're checking them out. But here is my TBR for the audio readathon. So first one's graphic audio. So I had gone on the graphic audio website and that was on there, listed as having a graphic audio. I need to see if I can get it though. But for now, I'm counting that as my graphic audio. Then we have Summer Vibes, which the Gunkel definitely is giving summer vibes. Next up is Animal on the Cover. So I'm counting Alchemy and a Cup of Tea, which has some griffins on there, and I'm counting those as animals. Next is LGBTQIA plus rep, and for that we are doing TU at the Altar. Currently I do not have a podcast chosen out that I'm going to listen to. I'm debating what topic I want to listen to. And then next up we have One Word Title, and Earthlings is one word. Then Audio You Own, which I got No One Was Supposed to Die at the at this wedding. I got that as an ARC, so I own it. And then a colorful cover, I'm going to be reading Love is a War Song because I have that out from the library and I need to get that read before it returns. So, and then finally to finish things off, we have the Love Yourself Readathon. So first up we have rainbow cover, which I chose No One Was Supposed to Die at This Wedding because there's all sorts of colors on it. Next is Summer Vibes on the cover, which again, the Guncle. Animal on the cover, again, Alchemy and a Cup of Tea. Reader Romance, deal with the Elf King. Graphic novel, manga, or comic. I'm going to be reading volume 6 of How to Be Relationship. That is another one that I have out from the library and couldn't fit into phase 10, so I'm fitting it here. I have Hearts on the cover, which I don't have a book that has like actual hearts, but this does say Heart of the Sun Warrior, so we're counting that. Then we have 5-star prediction, which A Sign of Affection I can almost guarantee is going to get 5 stars unless something goes absolutely terribly wrong, because I adore this series. Then we have Reread, which I'm going to be rereading The Raven Boys with the Sips Book Club. Then we have Small Read, which is The Mermaid's Voice returns in this one. And then Read Your Fave Genre. Insomniacs After School Volume 1 is listed as a romance, so it's a manga romance, which absolutely adore those. And Perfectly Messy will be going for Happy Read, because I'm really hoping that this will be a happy read. It's a YA romance, so I'm hoping for the best. But that there are the 3 main month-long readathons that I am doing. I also plan on participating in Donna's 72-hour campathon. I will possibly have a TBR, have a vlog, all the stuff. This might end up going up before my vlog does. I just haven't gotten around to editing it yet. I'm working on it, trying to figure out how to balance everything. Life is life-in. Anyway, that's that. Thank you for hanging out with me. I hope this video came out. If you have, again, any rewards or punishment recommendations, let me know down below. You can tell me any prompts that you think I should add. Let me know if you're joining any of these readathons and what you plan on reading. Thank you all so much for hanging out. Make sure to like this video. Like I said, comment down below. Subscribe if you would like to see more. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!